I love sailing in Valheim. I like being on the ocean. You really get a sense of danger and exploration, but knowing you have a place to come back to, that really helps to push you forward, to keep going. Hi, I'm Klaus, and welcome to Seafare. Seafare is a special project for me because I had wanted to build this for so long. During our first survival playthrough, my brother built a covered dock for his plane's base. I don't like to give him a lot of credit, but it was pretty cool. He had a great start, but I wanted to improve on the execution of it. My idea was based on World War II subpens. Imagine a large hangar with 2 bays for boats and space for all the crafting stations. There'd be a dock at the water level and a walkway above. The heavier equipment would be located past the dock and deeper inside. And finally, there'd be a small home with an attached lighthouse. Early on, I decided to focus on wood as the primary material. The ocean by nature is already cold, and I really wanted this build to feel warm and inviting, so I didn't want to lower the color temperature any further by using a lot of stone. In fact, I only used it to set the foundation. While I was designing, I tried to imagine just how busy things could get when a boat comes in. There's supplies to unload, repairs to do, and hungry Vikings to feed. There's not a moment to lose, so I wanted the layout to really expedite all that activity. To do this, I set a pair of crafting stations at the end of each dock. Here on Bay 1 is the workbench and forge. Over on Bay 2 is the Galder table and the Black Forge. Bay 2 is a similar design to Bay 1, but I did try to change it up with the small crane above. At first, I tried to arrange the crafting stations on the walkway, but the space really didn't suit it. Instead, I found that it was better to build in some additional storage. After all, we can never have enough. The lower roof line ends just beneath the windows here, so I was able to tuck the containers in the gap, which made them flush with the wall. It's ultimately a little detail, but I think it goes a long way. Spacing the hanging braziers evenly along the length of the boathouse really enhances both the lighting and the overall cohesion of the space. It creates a warm, inviting atmosphere while tying everything together visually. The bay doors are purely aesthetic, but they absolutely elevate this build. The entrance wouldn't have the same impact without them. They really make it feel like this base could take on any storm. Gotta love the nautical theme trophy on top too. Alright. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. Right here in the middle is the factory floor. This is where the magic happens, where raw materials are transformed into progress. Think of it as the heart of the whole build. It's where all the heavy-duty crafting gets done. I wanted to fit in 2 smelters, a blast furnace, and a refinery. All the essentials, but without it feeling like a cluttered mess. And here's the tricky part. I didn't want the upper walkway to trap the smoke, so I raised the walkway and pulled the stairs away from the wall. That way, the smoke has room to rise and spread out. I played around with the idea of putting storage racks in the middle of this room, but they just messed with the sightlines too much. So instead, I set up the map table here. The idea is that arriving boat crews can log their updates, and outgoing crews will always have the latest charts. You know, teamwork makes the dream work. Because of their size, the kilns are placed outside. They really crowded the room otherwise, but I kinda like stepping outside to fire them up. It's a great chance to get some fresh air and take in the scenery. I mean, check out that view across the water. That farmhouse is gorgeous. And it's always good to be neighborly too. I've got mixed feelings about the refinery. I mean, I don't mind the sparks flying everywhere. It's kind of dramatic actually. The problem is how damaging it can be to operate indoors. Still, I can't deny it's fun to fire everything up at once. It's like setting off a bunch of fireworks inside. Honestly though, if this were a real workplace, I'm pretty sure the accident rate would be through the roof. Our seafaring Vikings have a cabin just outside. Here there's a natural hill, which I used to elevate the building above the shore. I wish I could say that it improves the view, but honestly, it's just more water in every direction. This is a very communal space, with almost no privacy. When you step inside, you're looking at a small living room with a loft above. There's some seating spread out, and a table for group meals. There's not much to the decor, but I still think this acts as a nice home away from home. The kitchen is pretty spacious. There's a stone chimney, an upgraded cauldron, and the oven tucked off to the side. I kept the storage up above and out of sight, but it's still super easy to access when you need it. What I love most about both rooms are these large windows, framed with dark wood trim. They give you some absolutely stunning views, especially during sunset. One of my personal goals is to never make things bigger than they need to be. Balancing the size of everything is key to making the space feel natural. So to fit the stairs, I decided to extend only half of the building, which made it a bit asymmetrical, and I really liked how that shaped the front of the house. Upstairs is the loft. Keeping with the community vibe, I arranged 3 large beds and even managed to squeeze in the barber bench. There's also some storage and tools scattered around just for decoration. Outside is the deck. It's fully weatherproof, so rain won't cause it to wear out. There's a simple trick behind that. Within the wood flooring, I've got stone supported by iron bars hidden within. This is a great way to keep the repairs to a minimum. And by the way, the fishing here is fantastic. Around the corner is the lighthouse. It rises high above the cabin and the boathouse, so ships can spot it from any direction. As with the deck, to prevent the wood from weathering, I use stone and marble within the platform. Iron runs up from inside the walls to hold the stone in place. The bonfire really does a wonderful job of guiding you back. I'm really grateful that Seafare came together so close to my original vision. Balancing form and function is always a challenge, but this build feels like it achieves that balance beautifully. The boathouse serves its purpose while maintaining clean, practical lines. The cabin is perfectly integrated into the island's natural beauty, and the lighthouse stands as both a functional guide and an iconic focal point. Before I go, I just want to say thank you for all the support. The views, the comments, everything you've done has truly blown me away. It means so much, and I can't thank you enough. I've got plenty more to share, so if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you haven't seen the farmhouse yet, then I'll put a link to the video on screen. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.